Emails are still the go-to marketing channel for events organizers. But recent stats have shown that email marketing, which for so long has been a consistent guarantee of return on investment, is losing its edge. Hello, I'm Ben McKinney, co-founder of Copy or Die, the copywriting agency for brands that want to live forever, and co-host of Indie Business Club, the podcast for independent creatives, freelancers, founders, and business owners. So, is the ROI of your email marketing declining? Are you finding it harder to attract attendees, retain past ones, or even to get people to show up once they've booked? If so, I'm going to give you some practical copywriting tips that you can start using in your emails today. But first, some good news. Email use is still growing. It's expected that in 2025, over 376 billion emails will be sent. That's 376 billion, with a B, emails sent every single day. And people are still opening and reading those emails. 88% of email users admit to checking their inboxes at least once a day. As a copywriter, I'm often reminded of a quote by the legendary American marketer Howard Luck Gossage. He said, "People read what interests them, and sometimes it's an ad." Now, in our case, that sometimes will be an email. And with that in mind, here's 3 ways to help you write emails that get opened, read, and that most importantly, increase your return on investment. The first thing we're going to look at is write back rate. Now, what's write back rate? Well, that's creating engagement by talking to people in a way that makes them respond to you. Now, you can do this in a couple of ways. One is using polls or surveys, but the absolute best way is to create an email that gets people to write back to you. Why is this important? Well, did you know that as an email sender, you have a reputation? This is a score assigned by the email service providers, ESPs, that determines the likelihood of your emails reaching inboxes. It's influenced by factors like email engagement, bounce rates, and spam complaints. And your score reflects the level of trust that internet service providers and ESPs place in your brand's emails. When people reply to your email regularly, your sender reputation skyrockets. Now, this means that your emails are more likely to reach people's inboxes rather than being sent to spam, promotions, or junk folders. The second way is it's a great and low impact way to do audience research. You'll probably already have your audience demographics, but organic replies will give you insights into who your readers actually are, what they're up to, and how they interact with you, even why they're still subscribed to you. And that leads on to our third point, relationship building. Getting replies and replying back in kind means that these emails become a two-way conversation, rather than you just broadcasting through a loud hailer and hoping that someone will notice. Now, when it comes to the how of encouraging people to reply, one thing stands above all. Make it easy for your readers to write back to you. Give them a single prompt or a call to action, or ask them a simple question, but one that doesn't add to their workload or means they have to go away and think about the answer before replying. Because if that happens, it's really unlikely that they'll come back, even if they intend to at the time. Our second main point is headlines. Another legendary marketer, David Ogilvy, once said, on average, 5 times as many people read the headline as read the body copy. Now, when you've written your headline, you've spent 80 cents of your dollar. While it might not be practical to actually spend 4/5 of your time on your headline compared to the content of your emails, traditionally, there's nothing more important than your headline or subject line in getting people to open and read what you've written. Now, if headlines are challenging, if you're in a boring industry, or if you're finding it hard to generate interesting things to talk about, one way to overcome this is to build brand trust in a way that when people see an email is from you or your event, they have to open it. Now, this can be the one tactic that trumps focusing on email subject line hooks. Regardless of what your emails are about, people will want to open them because they're from you. Of course, as a trusted brand, it's still really important to try and have catchy email headlines that draw the reader in and make them want to click open. And some ways to do this are to try and create FOMO, a fear of missing out. And I'd recommend searching online for the free Co-Schedule Headline Analyzer, which will help make your headlines more effective. But what if you're thinking, our brand or event just isn't viewed that way? We haven't built that kind of brand equity yet. How do we do it? Well, that leads us nicely onto point 3. High quality content. Remember earlier when I described emails as being a conversation rather than a loudhailer? Think of them as a nurturing tool rather than a broadcast platform. If you think of the emails in your inbox that you always open and read, it's likely that they're personalized, engaging, and interesting. Because when you feel seen and heard, you're more likely to connect with the content. Now, I'm sure that you already create fun, dynamic, unmissable events for your attendees. So make sure your emails match up with what you deliver in person. Those dry, delighted to announce messages, they don't cut it anymore. Readers want more. Here's a way to get started. Make sure emails are written from one person to one person. And to create high quality content, show the perspective of the person whose name is signed at the bottom of the email. Think real and relatable, but also think rough and ready. Not everything has to be super polished. Go behind the scenes. Show the faces of the event. Tell stories. Capture when things have gone wrong and then how you overcame the problem. Basically, go beyond the information dump of what it is, when it is, and where it is. Okay, let's wrap up. Remember these 3 points to make sure your emails are opened, read, and acted upon. Number 1, start a conversation and engage readers by asking them to write back to you. 2, create FOMO with headlines and build your brand so that you stand out in inboxes. And 3, high quality, relatable content. That'll do for today. Thank you for watching. If we're not already, I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. You can scan the QR code or search my name. And you can find out more about Copy or Die, my copywriting agency, by following the link here. And if you like this video, then please do check out Indie Business Club, the podcast I host with another Glean In speaker, Mel Barfield, on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.